Welcome back, gamers. This video is going to be pretty quick today. We're going to cover 5 insane tips that will help you win more team fights, whether you play with a team or whether you solo queue. We're going to get right into them because your time is valuable, because you're ready to get back into ranked. First one up is prioritize your landing. Now you may be saying, Ems, how do I prioritize my landing when I'm solo queue? Well, first off, don't drop off the jump master. If you got it, you own it, you're dropping your team. If you're playing with a team, that won't include you, but the tip is still the same for both. When we talk about prioritizing the landing spot, what we mean is picking a landing spot that you and your team is comfortable fighting either early or rotating very quickly. Too often, I see people picking a landing spot with 3 or 4 teams, and let me just tell you, the odds are not in your favor. Now, this doesn't matter if you are a great, excellent player, your teammates are. Sometimes RNG just will impact every single game. When we're talking about gaining RP this season, taking a minus 60, taking a minus 80, just going to help set you back, which impacts your overall mentality while trying to gain during your session. So this means usually it is not only safer, but more strategic to land at a POI uncontested or maybe has 1 contest to where you can either scan the beacons, you can grab the Evo cache, and then get to the next POI to make sure you have the third-party opportunity. And we're not talking about strategically staying away from fights the entire game. We're just talking your initial drop needs to be better. From there, you can follow the zone closing. You should have experience doing that. If not, drop a comment below. Do we need to do a video on making sure you know how to chase the storm? Know in advance? Do you want to trick your enemies? Let me know in the comments below. This one shouldn't take a lot of time, but make sure you focus on your gun skill, your development with every gun, than focusing so much on your movement. This isn't Fortnite. This isn't other games. Yes, while it looks cool and it may impress your friends, 90% of the time, if you're not disciplined with the guns, you don't feel confident using the guns, nobody really cares how great you can move. The mantle jump, all these skills, if you can tap strafe, you've done a little bit more, but focus on developing your skill level of the guns itself. This means if you're spending time in the firing range and all you're doing is working on movement, you're wasting time where you could either be in an LTM or you could be doing anything else that improves your gun level skill in your game sense. Next up, we have positioning. If you couldn't tell, I got it on the screen 6 times so you can see and understand how important it is. It's crazy sometimes. Someone will peek me, I'll fry them, and 2 seconds later they're peeking again just to die. There's so much terrain and so many obstacles in Apex that you can always find a way by having better game sense to put yourself in a position where you're not taking damage from somewhere else and you're able to deal out more additional damage. When we talk about winning more fights, by having the better positioning and frying a teammate, we'll tie back into our last tip, which is learning to be the better aggressor and learn how to take those smart fights very quickly the right way. You can see in most of these clips, I avoid taking a huge chunk of damage while always putting out because my positioning is always moving diagonally and never vertically. Now, when you're chasing someone, holster that weapon and get on in there. But when you are taking a fight and you're being the aggressor putting damage, you need to make sure your angles are going in a position to box your enemies in. So stop peeking and getting fried. Start putting yourself positioned to only shoot once and be at a different angle. As you can tell with the latest update, they are really working towards balancing every single legend this season. This means you really need to have a type of kit where you can put a legend that you consider your mastery legend on all single classes. This means you can't just master every assault legend, every support legend. This means you need to spend time learning one of each. It's more mental than anything, but the more comfortable you feel about playing that legend, the better you'll play. If you're forced to play a legend you don't have a lot of experience with, although you may not think it impacts your actual game sense and your gun skill, it absolutely will because you just don't feel comfortable on how to play. I say this as I'm practicing Conduit. My teammates are constantly asking for shield, which shouldn't need to happen. It just means I don't have the skill and the game sense left for that legend, and you just really need to focus on one per class. We saved the most important one for last, but we want to walk you through how to take a fight properly. We really break this down into two different parts. One is aggressive and one is passive. Let's start with the aggressive first. If you want to be the aggressive squad, you need to make sure you are the squad doing the most amount of damage first. This means you have to have complete great awareness of your surroundings, and you need to be making sure that you have someone doing focus damage first. Those of you who are playing with squads, you shouldn't have this problem, but you may need to fix it. But if you crack someone far range, that is your go-to. That is the entry into getting aggressive. Most people backing up or healing when people are pushing. We play the mentality game here as they are now on the back foot while your team is in the aggressive manner. Same thing being said, if you get cracked, you need your team to provide that cover as well. So if you want the aggressive play style, you need strong comms, and you guys need to know when to push by creating angles. Just like this clip, I'm not going to be shot by anybody until I'm ready. The same thing being said is we're also the aggressor in this fight. However, the best way to make improvement overall is really spend time evaluating how you play and the changes you can make in your play style to make sure you win more games. Drop better, spend time learning better gun and aim control, learn better legends, learn when to be more aggressive and take more fights, and have better comms. Now let's go.